I mean, it was literally a second away from pulling the trigger. Man, that's been a long time coming. All right, here we are, November 17th. We're getting all packed up. We're gonna be leaving tomorrow, Friday, the 18th, right after work to go down to West Virginia. Here in Wisconsin, the gun season opens this weekend, and here we are packing up to leave. So we're gonna go down, check out West Virginia, use our bows, and try to get on some whitetail deer. Carsen and Caden went last year. Carsen ended up getting a nice 8-pointer. So this year it's my turn. We're gonna go give it a whirl. Boys got it all scouted out for me, so should be able to put me on a deer right off the bat. So.
Right out of my dreams, he was created by God. Just for outdoor magazines. Now I'm not much for thinking.
We're doing it, bud.
I won't do it often, but I had an idea.
What are we gonna do? Yeah. We're gonna put that buck in his coffin.
Put that dirty porter right in his coffin. Yeah.
West Virginia, here we come.
It's 4 a.m. We've been driving since we left home, and we're gonna stop here and try to get some sleep. We're just at a little parking spot here in Kentucky. We're about 3 hours out. We probably could make it, but I don't really want to drive anymore. So we're gonna crash in the truck for an hour or two and then get back on the road. Here we go. 2.5 hours of sleep, we're rolling. Woo!
Well, we just rolled into our camp here for the next few days. Pretty crazy, pretty steep hills right in here. Not what I'm used to, but it'll be interesting. Hopefully these guys can put me on some deer and we can put one down this week. Well, here we are, first night of hunting in West Virginia. As you can tell, pretty steep hills here. Our plan is there's a little road just below us here. We're gonna kind of snake around that point, and there's a point over here that we're gonna go ahead and take a look at and see if we can see any sign. We got the wind kind of coming right towards us, so we actually got that in our favor. So we're just gonna kind of take it real slow, get a little glass, and see if we can pick out a nice buck to get after. That's a good sign. We've got our first rub already. Just gonna keep inching our way down. It's right up that hill there. That's the little one. Yeah. Good sign there. Our wind is going this way now.
It's just gonna swirl on
I
us.
think so too. We're just walking this tote road. We're trying to get to this point. A lot of really good sign on this road. Another scrape right here. Our goal is just to try to get to that point. We're in the shade, so we're not going to be skylined. We're going to try to glass over this holler down here to see if we can get one coming out here tonight. I think probably just set up and wait on this trail. Looks like pretty good sign.
They're bedded right on that point there. Yeah, I can see them. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, there could be a buck with that doe, but it's with a fawn. Fawn's the one right in the sun there. Mom's just behind her left.
All right, I think that's going to wrap up day one. Overall, I think we saw 5 does. We decided to set up on that point. We thought it would be a pretty good spot, but we just didn't see anything come out. On our way out, we saw, I think, 4 other does on the other side of the gully there. So, I don't know, we're going to think about a game plan for tomorrow and see what happens. Stock number 1 failed. Buck decided to chase the doe down the mountain, and that was that stock. November 20th. It's our first morning sit in West Virginia. Got 28 degrees. Perfectly clear skies, sun's out. Just had a small 6-pointer come up on this little bench just below us here. He made a scrape about 30 yards away from us and then carried on up the ridge, so we're hoping we can get a bigger buck to do that. Sounds like Caden saw a dandy this morning and a nice 2-year-old 6. So we're in the same tree Carsen shot his buck in last year, so we're hoping that big buck that Carsen wasn't able to get last year still alive and we could get a crack at him. If we have to, we'll pull an all-day sit. So we're gonna sit back and see what the day brings us. About to make our way into a spot that we seen some big bucks this morning. They kind of ran down over the hill. And they ran down in the woods, so we're planning on setting up a tree stand tonight down in the woods there. We're gonna hope for the best. Long pack in. Let's go. Alright, we finally made it back in here. The buck that I videoed that we seen on our way in, I ended up getting 30 yards from him. So he was in the open area and then we couldn't see him anymore. And we seen his hot doe in the woods. So me and Carter split on each side. Carter went one side, I went the other side of the ridge, hoping that we wouldn't spook his doe. And eventually he run past one of our tree stands here. And I was walking on this deer trail
And all of a sudden, that doe comes screaming around the ridge and just stops 20 yards right at me. And sure enough, he was right behind her 30 yards. And I mean, we had a, 5-10 minute, probably a 10-minute stare down. And she finally walked off. She walked above me. I think she might have caught my wind and jumped back a couple steps. Went the other way around the ridge. And then the buck actually just kind of went down the ridge. And then I never seen him. So I kind of backed out a little, went down the ridge, and now found this decent pine tree with a trail running on this side of it, trail running on that side of it. Let's get up in her fresh rub right there, so you never know. We'll see.
Well, it's been a pretty slow afternoon. We saw a little 6-pointer and a doe this morning. And we just saw our first deer since, I don't know, probably 8 o'clock. There was a little spike and he walked his way up the ridge just out ahead of us. Definitely hoping for a little more action today, but things aren't looking good.
That's gonna wrap up our night here. Seen mom and 3 fawns. That was it. Heard one deer go on the other side of the ridge of me. But we're gonna pack her out and come back in the morning.
Well, just when we thought we were going to a spot where we would absolutely see nothing, we got back to this little pinch. It looks like there's maybe a dried up pond back here and just a big highway trail. We seen a buck bedded right in front of us, probably 30 yards. We bumped him, but he kind of stood around. I don't think he cared too much. Now he went over the bank, so I think we're in a pretty good spot. I think we're gonna try to maybe get to the top of this little point and just kind of set it up for a little while. Well, we spotted that buck on the side hill with a doe. Normally it would make sense to drop right over the top, come around behind him, but the wind is coming this way, so I'm afraid if we drop over the top, they'll catch our wind and blow us out. So we're gonna run up this little bench and just try to get halfway close. They wanted to come this way. So it's not a bad buck. If I shoot him from the ground, that'd be pretty cool. Just gotta keep our eyes peeled.
Bap. Bap. Bap.
It was kind of a rat race in there. I had him at 40 yards at full draw. Actually grunted a couple times once I had seen him. I was walking that bench row and I looked up and I seen him about 40 yards from me. Then I dropped down and I didn't see him for a while, so I grunted. And he was on top of the hill. Seen the grunt, started to come down. Didn't see anything, was behind some trees. Started to go back this way towards Carsen. Then I snort wheezed, and he came on a string right to the edge of that point, stopped broadside. I had him at 40 yards. I was literally just gonna move my sight so that my bubble was level, and he took off. So, I mean, it was literally a second away from pulling the trigger, but you know, I just wanted to make sure I was on him, and I felt good about the shot, and I didn't want to rush it. So, yeah, that's the way it goes. Pretty cool encounter. We're losing light pretty quick here. Probably gonna wrap it up for us tonight. We didn't see a deer. We're kind of basing everything off of this spot from last year. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. We may have to do a little more exploring on this property and see if the deer have moved a little bit and see if there's some more newer signs somewhere else. I think that's kind of the goal going forward, so.
Snuck into a new piece of public land here, and it's looking really nice. I came in here to set up a tree stand, but that didn't really work out very good. So I'm kind of sitting on the ground here, and I got this big ridge that comes around. It's kind of like a bowl. So I got a big point that comes down through here, big point that comes down through there, and then it kind of plateaus up at the top, and then there's kind of like this bench road that kind of runs the side of it. There's a massive deer trail all ruffled up, so deer have been using it, and I was settling in here, and these two deer, and he comes screaming down the trail like 10 yards right through here, and they moseyed their way on right up this hill, right up through here, and then they walked the top of it right through there. And couldn't believe it didn't have the camera strapped on the tree yet, but it was a little 6-point buck dogging a doe real hard. He was panting, so we just need a big buck to do that, and we will be in business. Got my makeshift blind set up. Got some nice attachments on the camera, some like green fern things. So, got a nice little shooting lane right down through there. We're ready to rock. Alright, as you can tell, it's pretty warm out, but we've got a pretty good deer trail coming off this main hill here, and then cutting up right by our stand, so we're going to do a scent drag in, see if we can get them a little closer to us tonight. That's a good sign. Well, it's November 22nd, the evening here. Carsen and I decided to come back into this spot where we've been the last couple nights. You ever had that feeling where you just feel like you gotta be in a spot? I guess that's one of these spots, so I guess we couldn't pass it up and we decided to come back in here. We did a quick scout this afternoon just to kind of check around the perimeter, and we saw a couple does on the bottom bench, and we walked up a little higher to see if there's anything out there, and we found a pretty good spot. Caden's actually up there tonight. So, Carsen and I decided to do a little bit different approach tonight. We found a pretty good trail coming into this spot,
So we decided to do a scent drag coming in. And on our way in, we saw quite a bit more sign than we've seen any other time. And actually I saw 2 or 3 rubs on some trees that were not here last night. So I think a buck is in the area now. We just gotta have it be the right one. So we're gonna sit tight. It's like 56 degrees. So kind of expecting the deer to move pretty late tonight just because it's a little warmer, but cross our fingers that we can get her done tonight. This way. It's a monster, Dad. It's a big buck. It's a big buck. He's coming down the hill. It's a really big buck. Coming this way. Dad, get ready. Don't let that doe bust you. Yeah, just do not let her bust.
is a giant. Are you kidding me?
When I hit him.
You smoked. Dude, that is a monster. That's the buck that busted me last year. He is so big.
I mean, he's like 6 yards.
Dude, no way. No way.
Thank you, Lord. That doe came out of nowhere.
I saw it and I'm like, oh, that is a giant buck.
I can't believe that just happened. Are you kidding me?
Dude, you just smoked the biggest
My leg
buck
is
you've ever
shaking.
shot.
Oh my goodness. We've had zero confidence in this stand. Just not seeing anything, and he shows up at 5 o'clock. Oh man, that's been a long time coming.
Let's go.
Oh my goodness.
Bury that airline deep.
It looked like he was gonna come down on this side of the tree after I had just got over here, but I just kept an eye on this doe. Oh my gosh. I mean, I think it looked pretty good.
Yeah, we'll watch the footage here.
Oh, I guess so. I gotta quit shaking.
I can't. Now I'm really shaking.
I'm even worse now. This is stupid.
You just killed the biggest buck of your life.
Yep.
You just killed the biggest buck of your life.
That was...
He's gonna love that.
Yeah, wait till he sees that. That's gonna be classic. Caden should have sat here, dang it.
Dude. Hey, it's the same night I shot my buck last year in this stand.
The 22nd?
The same night. I think it's the same night.
It was a Wednesday last year, though.
I need to look right now.
Because you shot him the night before. Right? Yeah. Okay, I gotta go shake it.
Hey, Bud said. Look at. Bud said. No way. Biggest buck of your life. Help me.
Well, he ran down the hill. We don't have to drag him up. That's the good part. I don't think he's much past that bench, probably.
He dropped over that bench. I'm pretty sure he crashed right there. Dude, that thing's a giant. He's got stickers on his base because he's so thick.
Yeah.
Dude, it's the same buck. I had a flashback of when he looked up at me.
Did he look up at you at all?
No,
I
but
mean,
I could just tell he's just the same deer. He's just a monster.
I don't know what it is about this spot, but boy, oh boy, that's pretty sweet. Unbelievable.
I couldn't believe it because I heard burp.
You heard it grunt?
Oh yeah. Didn't you
You
hear
did?
him grunt?
No.
He grunted several times.
Really?
Yeah.
Before you seen him?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear him at all.
And he came right off the top.
Yeah, he
Right
came
off
right
the
off the
top.
top of the hill.
She came around the side. And I
Yeah.
heard burp. And I'm like, okay, that's a buck. I know it is. And I didn't even have to pull up the bind or nothing. I just saw antlers. I'm like, that's definitely a shooter.
Well, yeah, I was watching over there for her to come through. Just compose yourself.
I can't. I'm shaking.
I know, legs are just shaking like a beast. But I was looking where she was coming, thinking the buck was coming behind her because she was acting kind of weird. But, yo, how you doing, buddy? I said, how you doing?
Put him on speaker. Put him on speaker.
You know deer, huh? Well, get out of there and come help me.
Okay.
good shot?
I think so. It looks pretty good. It's a smidge high, but I think it's fine.
Okay.
I don't think he's much over the bench, but
Okay. You guys gonna get down?
no, we'll just wait for you.
Alright, I'm gonna come over the hill then.
Yeah, just drop right over the hill. That's right where the buck came from.
Sweet, I'm gonna sneak out of here.
All right, let's go before you get too dark here.
Alrighty.
All right, see ya.
Bye.
Right. I can't stop shaking.
Looks good, all bubbles. All the way.
I'm sure I lunged him.
She's kind of jacked up there.
My nocturnal is broken.
Boy, arrow's out quick.
Yeah, sure is. This is crazy. We're on a mountainside sliding down the hill. Might as well get a sled. We'll be at the bottom in about 10 seconds. Got pretty good blood yet, so hopefully he's at the bottom of the hill. We don't even have to drag him.
That looks like it.
That's him.
I think that's it.
It is. I can see it in my binos.
He just rolled.
Man, look at this blood on this tree. Look at how splattered that blood is.
Yeah. That's one too.
Hey, where are you going?
You alright, buddy?
Holy man. See if his time gets over.
Still have any antlers?
He probably.
What are we doing? I mean, look at this. Poor thing.
He just tumbled right down.
Unbelievable. That's a stupid buck. Stupid.
Dude,
I don't deserve that.
the fact that we've seen the deer last year, guaranteed same buck.
Oh, where did my arrow come out? I don't know. Well, that's what we just had to bring our buck down. I actually lost hold of him. And he just fell right down the old cliff. Glad all his tines didn't break off. That would have been a real bummer. But now I think we're on this bench, and I think we can pull him right out to that grassy little spot. So I'm going to have to actually drag him now instead of having him fall down the hill.
Hey, moonshine.
That might be moonshine.
Yes, it was.
can't believe I'm sitting behind this buck. This is a buck that Carsen had come in last year in the same spot, and it busted him, or at least it spooked out of there, and he never got a chance at him. And then 2 nights later, he ended up killing a nice 8-pointer. But pretty sure that this is the exact same deer that he had that chance at last year, and we weren't really sure if we were going to come to this spot tonight, but we just had that feeling that tonight was probably going to be a pretty good night, and there's a chance that there could be a pretty good buck in the area. And we were sitting in the stand and just kind of losing hope. About, I don't know, 4:30, 4:45, we seen a doe come off the side hill, and she was just acting kind of strange, and we thought, well, maybe there'd be a buck around. And Carsen heard a grunt, and he said, "Dad, buck." So I grabbed my bow and just kind of kept an eye on that doe, and sure enough, she worked her way out in front of us, and he decided to come in basically almost right to the base of our tree. And after watching the video from last year, I thought for sure he was going to maybe look up and bust us, but he got to basically 8 yards. I think 9 yards was where I ranged him at, and I took the shot as soon as I could, because I knew that, you know, these bucks can just move on a dime. And pretty good, put a good hit on him. He went down the hill, and that was it. But I can't believe this trip is already over. It's been crazy hunting out here in these hills. My legs are shot, but we still got one more tag to fill, so we're hoping that Caden can get it done tomorrow.
All right.
Dad got him.
Man, y'all are
Old Dad.
Y'all are a bunch of deer slayers.
Oh yeah.
See what's coming at a buck.
Yeah.
Oh
good.
man. Wow, dude. That is a damn deer right there.
Ain't that a pig?
Wow. Golly. Man, you did it. That is
Oh, West
awesome.
Virginia, man.
Well,
Unbelievable.
that's what they look like.
That is what they look like, I guess.
Well, get there and take a picture. I gotta show my dad that. He'll be. Oh, look at that thing's neck swell.
I know it. He was following a doe.
They don't swell up no more than that. Good grief.
Right? Like, first opportunity I can get, I'm gonna try to take this deer. As like, as soon
Oh
as I
yeah,
can,
you
you know.
that's what I said.
So I
Don't get
pulled back, and I was just
look
making
away.
sure that that doe didn't bust me drawn back. So I got on him, and there was a small little window through some like little branches, and I was like, I'm gonna try to force this shot. And so I got my bow there, and I kept hitting this limb above me, and I couldn't get my bow over far enough.
Oh
I'm like,
man,
dang it!
Panic.
And I'm trying to do this, and I'm like, screw it, I'm just gonna wait until he gets to the opening, right? So he takes one more step, he just sits there, and I was like, okay, right there, bam. And he just tore off down the hill. I thought, oh.
Went out of sight.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just
They always
straight
do.
down,
I mean,
you
it
know.
don't
I mean,
matter.
I think
Around
I hit
here.
him pretty good, and it was such an angle. I mean, I hit him fairly high here, but it was coming down at such
almost
a deep
exactly
angle.
where I hit that one last.
Yeah, it's just like, but yeah, he tumbled over, and we slid down the hill literally.
Straight briars. Probably destroyed my Sitka here. Sure, but it was bad. But we got in here a little late. But we're in. We're going after that big 10-pointer. Or whatever deer comes in. So there's been a couple shooters here the last couple days. So we're gonna hope for the best. He came down this bench road yesterday. 2 days before that. So, if everything works out good, it'll come out here and we'll blast them. Got a good buck spotted. Not quite sure what the plan is. You hear that? You heard that? He perked up instantly. Good. Oh, he goes
Now they come right up this trail.
You know what I'm saying, though? And I can shoot that side hill.
Yeah, you could.
Because I can't shoot from here.
But I don't know if you're gonna be able to.
You'll get out of sight here in just a second.
Might be.
And then I'll be able to sneak to that next tree. I'll keep the tree and him right in line.
If you keep the tree between you and him, maybe.
Yeah. Because he won't be able to see me.
He's coming right down, though.
I know. About 90 yards away from us here. Probably close the distance to about 80. But he just kind of cut like this down the mountainside. And he dipped into the woods right down here. So, not really sure what the plan is now. He's close by. He's just looking for, I grunted a couple times and he was just looking for a deer. So, I guess we'll see what happens. That is a wrap for the West Virginia trip here. Overall, it was a pretty decent trip. Dad ended up getting a pretty good buck. And then we almost got her done there. He was about 80 yards away from me, so that close, but just didn't quite connect. And we're gonna be on our trek back down to the mountain here, back to the truck. Then we got a long drive home, back to the old Wisconsin, and we'll get some Thanksgiving dinner in. That'll be awesome. So now we go down the hill. Yes.